welcome back to Model Maker Dave's Workshop. I'm Dave. Hello everyone. Give us a few seconds to get everything sorted out with the cameras and the microphone and the lights and this and that and everything else, and maybe make a cup of tea. And I will see you down on the bench. Hello and welcome back. This is not the interlude. No, it's not a potter's wheel. It's Dave's mug of tea. Yeah. Oh dear, excuse me. This is me being a bit daft and a bit silly, but hey, whatever. Let's get the tea out the way, leave the turntable in place, and this video is very much a bench update. It's trying to cover quite a few things that I have been doing in the meantime. I haven't shot any videos on them because I didn't know how long they was going to take and how often I was going to get to the bench. So right. So without further ado, let's bring in the GR1. It's not much further forward than probably the last time you saw it. It's got base coat on. I've started to paint the weaponry, but that is about as far as I've got with this. I don't quite know why I stopped. I just did, and I don't know. Just haven't kind of felt the urge to carry on with this one. I don't know why. It was a good build up till now, and then it kind of went a bit pear-shaped. So I think it's going to remain on the back burner for the next foreseeable few weeks, months, I don't know. But I will start it again when I get some mojo to do it. So that's that one. Now, the other thing that I have been working on is I did a one-off figure. Didn't do a video on this one. This was just something that I did quietly on my own. Really just sort of mucking about with a bit of static grass, and yeah, just did a non-video, a quiet figure build, because I just wanted to sit quietly and just do a little bit of brush painting. Well, there you go. Nice little figure. So moving on to a little tank. Again, more static grass, and playing around with trying to make something look a bit knackered, rusted, left abandoned. Yeah, I used MIG pigments on this one. It's an Airfix 1/72. Not 1/72. What am I talking about? It's 1/76. Come on, get it right. Went together really well. It was a nice little build, nice quiet little build. It ain't just to mess about with. Try out a few things. Try to make it look a bit knackered. Had a mess around with the static grass applicator after I'd increased it from a 3V to 9V. And yes, when you get a zap from a 9V, it does sting for a little while. I found out to my cost. So I need to make an adjustment on the static grass applicator, whereas I've got a small screw to use as the grounding point to help out with the applicator. I think I'm going to change that to a piece of wire about yay long. so that my hand is right out of the way and not as close as it was before, because it was just a single touch. And yes, I did, yeah. So, but apart from that, that's that one. Now for a little bit of what I call silliness. Well, I'm just going to put it on, and then you guys can make of it what you will. I'm not going to say what it is. Let me know what you think it is, apart from it being a racing car. See what you think. Let me know. What else have I been up to? Ah, yes. I have been playing around with using pencils for weathering. And I've tried two different types. I've tried standard artist watercolour, and I've bought a few, not many, but a few of the AK Interactive weathering pencils. Now, what did I do with it? I'll put it away somewhere. I've done it again, haven't I? Hold on. No, it's not over there. Hold on a second. There you go. So, I've had to play around with weathering pencils. I don't know how much you can see on this. I haven't painted this. This is just messing around with either of these to see what I can get and how it works. Now, the watercolour pencils for the artists use, for want of a better wording, the leading in these is a little stronger than what it is in these, so therefore you can get a better point, and the point will last a little bit longer than on these. With these, I've found them to be a bit soft and a little bit waxy. Now let me try and demonstrate. So if I take a watercolour and just make a mark lightly, one pass, you get a line. Now if I take said AK and do the same again, you get a line, but it's very faint. Now, having said all of that, having a faint line or a faint mark, because you could, you know, on a tank or a vehicle of some sort where you've got a footing, a step, or a handle of some sort that can also be trodden on, by just doing some small movement you can replicate paint bruising. By that I mean it's slightly scuffed where the tip of the boot or the rubber of the sole has bounced onto the paint and bruised it. It's not scratched it, it's not chipped it, it's just made left a rubbery scuff, if you like. which you can do with these, whereas you can't do that with these. However, for making a sharper line, these are better. Now you can thin them down. You can thin them down with water, and I've also been playing around with a little bit of homebrew thinners, and as you can see here, here and here, I've used a normal brush on there, but these I've used cotton buds to blend them in. Now, having said that, now I'm going to try something out. Now I'm going to put that on there like that. It said cotton bud. And you can very gently rub that down. Now you could do that the same with one of these. Now I'm just playing around to give you an idea of what you can and can't do with them. So with it being dry, that's the AK, that's the artist, this is the AK. So clean that down. Now just a tiny smudge of water, and literally really do wring it out. Get it. I've found that if you have too much water, it literally destroys it. It just sends it all over the place. So I've got this relatively dry. It's dry to the touch, but I can now do this, and it now starts to drag it out a little bit. And it reduces its intensity, which is the same as what you can do here. So you could reduce this down to just a small mark, a smudge mark of where a boot has gone, and it's bounced up against the side of a tank or the turret of a tank, and it has quite literally bruised the paintwork. All you want is just enough on there just to change the colour ever so slightly. And by using a cotton bud that is literally been dipped in water, and then you squeeze it out in between your thumb and index finger, and quite literally just very gently wipe over it. Literally don't put any weight on it at all. Just let the what's left of the moisture in the cotton bud do the work for you. So you could do the same on here. And just gently tease it out, and as you can see, it just starts to fade away. Now if you wanted to, he struggles to get hold of a brush, and it's the same with the paintbrush. You wet it and then take quite a lot of the moisture out, and then you just drag your brush over it and just gently tease it out, and it will eventually give you a shadow mark, so that you could use this for a bit of smoke, a bit of exhaust, a little bit of weathering. So they do have a place. They are worth getting. Just with the artist pencils, the lead is a little what's the word I'm looking for? A little harder. It does cut down into a nice point when you put it through a pencil sharpener. Now with these, there is one other thing that I have found with these. The lead in these is soft and slightly waxy, and if you drop these or you drop something onto them, you will break the lead that's in them. I have noticed that. That's why some of these are slightly different lengths, because when I've gone to sharpen them myself, where they've been dropped or bounced around, it's literally just come out because it's just not been secure enough. So be wary on that one. These cost me $1.25 a piece, I think, and these were $1.50. So they're relatively about the same sort of price. They do pretty much the same sort of thing. The only thing that other thing that I have tried with these is to get a plastic lid, one of something like this, and quite literally just get a brush, something that is relatively big enough. Here we go. Brush in the water, and you can literally just make a nice little wash by just doing this. And then if you wanted to mix in another colour, you can just do that and then have a mix up, or maybe. Oh, excuse me. Bacon sandwich coming out. Alright, here we go. So, and it makes, you've got a nice little wash where you haven't had to use an awful lot of paints from acrylics or any other, and it does go on quite nicely. Brush that on. Try this out a little bit, drag it across, and it takes it all off. Oh dear, excuse me. You do get the gist of the idea that you can use this for a multitude of different ways of application. So yeah, if you're thinking about getting some, I'd buy these ones individually. I know you can get them in the packs, and I know it's handy to get them in the pack, but I'm sure that there are some in the packs that, for whatever reason, will probably never get used. So my thoughts are that, and if I get any more of these, I will buy them as individual pencils, because then I can keep an eye on my budget and keep an eye on what I'm buying, rather than just buying them for the sake of buying them, and get the ones that I really want and know that I'm going to use. So that's that. What else have I been up to? Oh yes, I have started a new kit. So let's get these out of the way, and I'll bring the box in, and then you can have a look. Now there. Let's get rid of all of this. Right. We have started this one, and I only started this last night, and I worked on it for a little while, and this is as far as I've got. Never built a trumpeter kit before. What do I think so far? I've enjoyed it so far. I've enjoyed putting this together. I will do some painting on it soon, otherwise it's going to get too large and a bit complex for painting with a brush or airbrush. So I think I might do some paintwork on this later on today. I'll do some video updates on this as I go through the build. Am I going to do anything differently? Yes and no. Well, let's get the instructions, because it's got a nice bit of engine detail, as you can see from here, and as we go through the instructions, he says quickly, you've got quite a detailed interior to the cab. So what I'm hoping to do, as you can see, you've got all of this work to go in there and all of this. What I'm hoping to be able to do is to have a door open and hopefully have the bonnet up as if it's in for maintenance, having a service, getting fixed or whatever. Now, whether that is going to be in a proper service yard, but bearing in mind this is Russian kit, so I would imagine virtually any service work and any repair work to this sort of vehicle is going to be done straight in the field. It's not going to go anywhere in particular, so it's going to be a bit agricultural as for servicing and maintenance, I would have thought. But yeah, it's a nice kit. It is actually very nice. I am enjoying doing this one so far. I think there's a lot to be shown in the cab, and it will be a shame to have both the doors closed up and just having these little windows to see what's going on inside. So yeah, I think either one or both doors open, have the bonnet open, and that's it so far, unless I change my mind on anything. I don't quite know what else I'm going to do on this one. I'm sure I'll think of something, and as and when I do, I'll let you know so that you can keep up to date with this one. So that's that. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I haven't really been doing an awful lot, to be fair. Yeah, that's it. That's it as far as the bench update is concerned. So you're as up to date as I am, just about. And it just remains for me to say thank you very much for watching. If you haven't done so, then please subscribe, and don't forget to dink the bell wherever the bell is, down there or up there, so that you get a notification as to when I post up some content. And I will see you in the next one.